Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
Over 30% of adults struggle with chronic foot and joint pain, and many face mobility limitations as they age. But a revolutionary Comfort First slipper has taken the wellness world by storm. Try Cloud Slides and feel you are walking on the clouds. Cloud Slides.
Hello and welcome on in. Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stuart here on 365 Sports. And boy, do we have a show for you today. How about that for a jam-packed weekend here in New England on the sports scene, man? We had Jayson Tatum back on Friday and having a really nice game for himself Friday and on Sunday. We're going to talk with Sam LaFrance of Houdini Hardwood in just a few minutes here, talking about how impressive this has been so far through two games and how this changes the Celtics' outlook on the Eastern Conference. We'll talk with him all things Celtics, but of course, it is kind of the unofficial opening of NFL free agency. We are already seeing the moves being made. The Patriots have made a signing. Maybe more importantly, there's a signing they did not make. All kinds of drama on the edge, talking about Maxx Crosby and the guy who might have blocked his deal to the Patriots, Tom Brady, of all people. All that and more coming up on this episode of the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. It is your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio right here on 365 Sports, every day on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts as well. I can't beat around the bush anymore because we got to have this talk with Sam LaFrance in a couple of minutes. Normally, that would be, and probably still is, the biggest story around Boston sports around this weekend and into the beginning of this week. But of course, today, right now, everything is happening in the NFL free agency world. Breaking news right before we got on the show today, the Patriots will not sign Alec Pierce. Their top target, no pun intended, in free agency. The wide receiver is staying with the Colts for a record contract. Literally the highest paid wide receiver, free agent wide receiver, in NFL history. 4 years, $116 million, $60 million guaranteed for Alec Pierce. Is it a crazy number? Yeah, it is. Let's be honest. That's nuts. $28.5 million a year for a guy who has never had 50 catches in a season. He's only had a 1,000-yard season one time. That was this year, and he went for 1,003. So it is a crazy number. But that said, would I have been saying that if the Patriots signed him? No. We were talking with Keegan Stiefel on the show the other day. Like, this was the target for the Patriots. This was a guy who, you always worry about the number 2 to number 1 role kind of transition, but clearly the Colts are not worried about that. They shipped Michael Pittman off, another receiver that the Patriots could have gotten, now no longer on the table. This is what you got to do. This is the price you have to pay now. And this dude is an electric deep ball target, and the Patriots have the best deep ball thrower in the entire league. It was a match made in heaven. The best deals are the ones you don't make. And the Patriots apparently did not have a chance. Because for the second year in a row, even with all that has happened in between, even with the emergence of a star young quarterback, the resurrection of a career of a veteran quarterback coming off an injury, the stability under Mike Vrabel, the fact that this team went to the freaking Super Bowl, some things never change. Because last year, the Patriots tried to overpay for Chris Godwin, going north of $30 million a year, and Chris Godwin said, no, I don't want to play there. This year, allegedly, they also went more than $30 million a year for Alec Pierce. And according to The Athletic, he said no. They reported the 49ers and the Patriots offered more free agency money. Alec Pierce turned them down. So it goes to show that the wide receiver position in the NFL is becoming a lot like left tackle. It's becoming a lot like franchise center in the NHL. These guys do not make it to the open market very often, and that is going to continue. I mean, for the second year in a row, even with all that has happened in between, the Patriots are going to need to go down their list to see who they want to be as the big play receiver for Drake May. Like, think about this for a second. And some of this is sour grapes, I'll admit. But, let's think about this for a second. The Patriots is a destination right now. You've got a quarterback who just finished second in the MVP race with a lackluster wide receiver room. They just went to the Super Bowl. Their coach is the coach of the year. They've got the young quarterback. They've got the franchise cornerstone cornerback. They had a top 10 defense in the league this year. They will likely have a top 10 defense again this year, maybe even a top 5 with the right moves. And still, Alec Pierce says, nah, I'm good. $30 million a year. You couldn't get him in the door here. Maybe you didn't even get the chance. Maybe you didn't even hear out the offer. But that is what has become of the wide receiver position in the NFL. We have put that much of a premium on it. And maybe it's because of the talking heads saying that every young quarterback needs to have a guy like this, because it wasn't always that way. Maybe it's Joe Burrow succeeding with two guys like this and both those guys getting paid about $30 million a year. Maybe that's what it's become. But bottom line is, you got to pay an incredible amount of tax to get a big play wide receiver in the door. Again, this is a guy who's not caught 50 passes in a season, garnering nearly $30 million a year. $60 million guaranteed. And by the way, how the Colts are going to do it, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this. The Colts offered Daniel Jones $33.5 million a year, and he said no. So now they transition tag him, which is kind of like a restricted free agent in the NHL. Any offer that is made by somebody else, the Colts can match. But Daniel Jones wanted $50 million a year. And he's going to come down at least $20 million annually? Let's see, man. Let's see. I mean, if I'm the Colts, I'm taking that chance as well, by the way. I'm taking that chance if I'm Indy. So I think at the end of the day, Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback for the Colts next year. So that said, what Alec Pierce has done with this move, other than getting the absolute bag, is he has chosen to catch passes from Daniel Jones rather than Drake May, which just has me thinking about that old Tom Brady thought.
Sticking with that motherfucker? Are you serious?
I mean, it's worth the question. You're sticking with that mother bleeper? You're sticking with that MFer? But I guess he doesn't need to enhance his career. He's going to get $60 million. I'd probably do the same thing. This is a hit for the Patriots. There are still some names out there, and oh boy, get ready for it now. You thought that A.J. Brown trade talk was dying down when you heard the offer? No. Like, you thought that A.J. Brown trade talk was going away when they reported what the Eagles were looking for? Oh, no. That is just getting started with Alec Pierce off the market, with Michael Pittman off the market. Just get ready for it now. We have got all kinds of A.J. Brown talk coming at you. This is a miss for the Patriots. This stinks. This humbles the Patriots in a lot of ways. You look back on it and say, man, maybe we aren't as attractive as we thought. Because we should be attractive after the season we just had with the future that we do have. But Alec Pierce is like, might be catching passes from Danny Jones. Might be catching passes from Anthony Richardson if he sticks around. Who knows? But I'll get $60 million in the bank no matter what. And that's how it works out. So tough first move of NFL free agency that the Patriots miss out on Alec Pierce, because I thought he would have been a great fit for this team. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. And then like the video and subscribe to the channel, because that helps us out a ton. Thanks. It would make me happy. It would help me sleep better after this Alec Pierce news. The Patriots did make a signing. They did not get Alec Pierce, but they did make a signing. Draymond Jones, the defensive end, pass rusher. You are a New England Patriot, baby. Comes in from Baltimore, played on two different teams last year, racked up 7.5 sacks on two bad defenses, Tennessee and Baltimore. And the great thing about it is, I know this team was doing their in-game scouting. The problem with the Draymond Jones signing is he won't play the Patriots next year, because he played them twice in 2025. He had a sack against them with the Titans, and then had a sack and a fumble recovery against them with the Ravens earlier in the year. And he averages about 6 sacks per year. And I know people aren't all over this one yet because they're like, oh, you could have just got K'Lavon Chase on, could have just, wrapped him up. He had a great year for you last year. And I hear that. But the Patriots need a lot of help when it comes to the pass rush. And dare I say, Draymond Jones gives you more than both K'Lavon Chaisson and Harold Landry. Landry gave you nothing in the last half of the season. So if Draymond Jones had a pulse from mid-October through mid-January, hopefully early February, he's going to give you more than Harold Landry will. And as far as the Chaisson thing, you got Chaisson on a career year. Dude was sniffing a contract, and I get it. Maybe you could say the same thing about Draymond Jones, who has had a more consistent career, consistently good career, than K'Lavon Chaisson has had. When you look at both of their stats from 2020, which was Chaisson's first year in the league, Draymond's second, so I'm eliminating Draymond Jones' whole first season from these cumulative stats. You want to do tail of the tape, if I can get this video out of here. What's going on here? There we go. You want to do tail of the tape here. The only question is whether you were getting an upgrade. And he's got twice as many sacks as K'Lavon Chaisson does in the same amount of years, right? And that interception by Chaisson, by the way, I think was that Cam Ward one, or was that a fumble, I guess? He didn't catch it out of the air, did he? But, like, you're getting twice the sack production, a good amount more in the sacks. He's creating havoc just as much, and he's more available. So all those people who are scoffing at the Draymond Jones numbers, I'm like, what are you looking for? You already missed out on Maxx Crosby. Maxx Crosby's don't grow on trees. It's 3 years, $39 million, so it's a good chunk of change, man. It is, $13 million a year. But let's go out and see what K'Lavon Chaisson fetches, because he's going to get paid. Draymond Jones is a little older. I think he's 2 years older, year and a half older. He's 29. He's still got good football left in him. This is a good move by the Patriots. Is it going to move the needle on FanDuel or DraftKings? Probably not. But you've upgraded at a position of need on your defense. That is an upgrade. Look at the tail of the tape here. That is an upgrade. But yeah, missing out on Alec Pierce, it sucks. It sucks, man. But you're adding this piece. When you look at Draymond's stats last year, albeit in 18 games, you have him as 8 sacks. I've got him as 7.5 Pro Football Reference. 7 TFLs, 15 quarterback hits. Get after the quarterback, man. And that is something you desperately, desperately need. And this could be the way the Patriots start thinking over the next couple days. I hope not. I hope it's not the case. But the Patriots could be sitting there and saying, does Drake May really need a big-time X receiver? I know we say that about every other quarterback, but, oh, man, he did just get us to the Super Bowl without one. And to me, that is stinking thinking. It is stinking thinking, man. I'm not going to go in here and say the Patriots got on the Super Bowl out of pure luck. Okay, they were a good enough team to get there in the AFC. But did some things break their way? Shit, yeah, they broke their way. Like the regular season schedule, I don't really care about that. But did things break their way? Totally. Totally. The AFC was weak this year. You did not have a Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and no Patrick Mahomes in the AFC playoffs. Like, that's not the Patriots' fault. And you got to play a backup in the AFC Championship game. So you can't just rest on your laurels and say, well, Drake May elevated this receiver group so much he can do it again, because he probably can do it again in the regular season. You can probably win 10 games in this schedule with this wide receiver core. But if you're serious about investing right now and getting a team that can get back to the Super Bowl before you're paying Drake May crazy, crazy amount of money, then you do need to go out and get an Alec Pierce type of receiver. You do need to go out and get an A.J. Brown kind of receiver. Diva activity be damned. You have to go out and get someone like that. There's other things to fix, sure. You need to shore up your offensive line. How are you going to do that in free agency? It's a fool's errand. You know, you got Morgan Moses last year, but you had to give a 34-year-old a 3-year contract to play on the right side. And he was fine for you. He's fine. I don't know how much you're betting on that again. You need to get after the quarterback. You know, you look at the offensive line in this Super Bowl, and it was a train wreck. It was absolute garbage, right? But also in that Super Bowl, you got in the face of Sam Darnold all night, and you got 1 sack on him. You couldn't change the field position game. You didn't force a turnover. You know, that's some help that you need as well. And you just got an upgrade. The pass rush with Draymond Jones. So I'll take that. But in terms of what they're missing, yeah, they missed out on someone like an Alec Pierce. And we'll see how they pivot. I am fascinated to see how they pivot because they know that they need help at that position. And they can't really go crawling back to Stephon Diggs, who they're going to cut. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Of course, we come at you every weekday on YouTube, and we're available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Thank you to the people at Blackmore Bar and Kitchen, by the way. We're going to be back at the Blackmore in just about 2 weeks, March the 24th. It's right in Charlestown. It's great parking, by the way, if you're going to the Garden. It's right across the Bill Russell Bridge from the Garden. So you know that place was electric this weekend for Jayson Tatum's return. So you're going to a Celtics game, Bruins game. You want to grab a bite to eat, maybe some drinks before or after. Blackmore Bar and Kitchen, man. 34 different draft beers on tap, just waiting for you. Cheap, easy parking. It is the best way to experience a game day in Boston/Charlestown. Blackmore Bar and Kitchen. We'll be back there on Tuesday, March the 24th. We'll be back there before Bruins Leafs. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Sam LaFrance of Hardwood Houdini. We're going to talk Celtics. Jayson Tatum is back in the lineup, probably playing a little bit more than a lot of us expected. What does that mean for the Eastern Conference? I'm looking at you, Detroit. That's coming up next on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. U-Like.
Back here on the Wicked Boston Show, some more tough news for the Patriots in the free agency front. Cambridge native, Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely not going to New England because he's going to the New York Giants. Oof, That's kind of tough. And allegedly, the Patriots offered 4 years, $150 million for Alec Pierce. I don't know. There's no way the dude knew about it. Like, I just don't know how you turn down a bigger contract, the biggest contract for a receiver in history, to come play for Drake May and just say no. I'm sorry. Like, maybe I'm a homer. I don't get it. Let's get on to the good news, shall we? The good news in Boston is that Jayson Tatum is back. And the Celtics, oh boy, do they look dangerous now. So joining us from Hardwood Houdini, Sam LaFrance joins the show. I mean, Sam, how high are the vibes right now?
Incredible. I mean, the weekend of Celtics basketball that we all just got is something I don't think anyone had expected to see this year. Jayson Tatum has returned. It felt like it was coming for a while. Rumblings, rumors, everything just starting to come together over the month of February. The Vucevic trade happens, and they're like, well, they wouldn't have done that if they didn't think he was coming back. Eventually does come back on Friday against Dallas. He has the incredible reception as he's introduced, and he definitely has some kind of nerves or angst or just so desperately wants to score his first points of the season, and he starts 0 of 6, and he gets going in the middle of that game and then goes out to Cleveland on Sunday and comes out and scores 12 points right away and looks exactly like the guy that was there before he got hurt. And so now if you're a Celtics fan, you're watching this and you're like, my goodness, like they might win the conference. They might be able to compete for a championship, because not only does he look like himself, but he has spent, and we could talk about this more, he spent so much time around the team this year that he is completely comfortable in everything they're doing. He's not stopping the ball. Defensively, he looks connected. He knows where to be. And the chemistry that they have spent 62 games building before he came back is completely there with him back in the lineup.
Yeah, I did tell you I wanted to go through all 6 of the misses first. I really just wanted to analyze how much of a bum this guy is, missing 6 straight shots. But you bring up a great point there, which I did want to ask you about, because I was sitting here worried. I'm like, I'm not a huge chemistry guy, but I don't want to mess with this chemistry. Not that I don't want Jayson Tatum to be in the lineup, but this is a different team from last year, personnel-wise, without Porzingis and Holiday and Cornette and those guys, but also just the way they attack teams every night, the way they play defensively. It's different from when Jayson Tatum was last on the floor. And we had heard a bit about this. He wasn't like most stars that would just go away. He was even on some of the road trips. He was really close to this team. So how much of an impact do you think that makes for the Celtics, especially when we come playoff time and Tatum's kind of got his full conditioning underneath him?
Yeah, the conditioning is an interesting part of this, because conditioning wise, he does look fine. He's playing about 27 minutes a game, exactly 27 minutes a game through these two. And there are moments offensively that you can kind of feel that he doesn't necessarily have whatever burst he needs to put together scoring stretches. That doesn't mean he's not looking athletic. I don't know if he has the endurance to continue his onslaught after having 12 first quarter points against Cleveland. He kind of went ghost, or not even ghost. He just wasn't involved as much in the middle quarters. And then the fourth quarter, he comes back, has 7 big points to help them hold off a Cavs comeback, starting with an offensive rebound where he gets fouled and gets the free throw line. He has a driving layup, which was something for a lot of people, made them feel like he was fully back. He was not afraid to take off and land through traffic, and then he makes the dagger 3. But I think his impact is really beyond all that stuff, where it's like, okay, defensively, he has the athleticism, the length to be disruptive. He clearly understands the kind of scheme the Celtics have ran this season, where they're scrambling around, recovering, rotating for each other if they need to play help. And he fit right into that. When Vucevic got here about a month ago, that was a learning curve for him, where you were watching the Vucevic minutes. You're like, doesn't really look like he's figured it out yet. Where Tatum, he hasn't skipped a beat. And then the other part of it is, just by him being on the floor, it makes it easier for guys. On Friday, Peyton Pritchard had 20 points. I think Derek had 18. And before that, I don't know if there was a game all season where they both had a good game on the same night. It's very rare, and it was just because I don't think either of those guys isn't capable of scoring on focused defense, but they were getting extra defensive attention every night because the defenses could afford to do that. With both Jayson and Jalen in the lineup, it makes it much more difficult to also put consistent pressure on Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. And I think that elevates the fringes of this roster as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, I think this does so much for Derek White, especially, guy who's had to take some more shots, hasn't had the greatest shooting year, still has his nights for sure. I think you get back to super utility role player Derek White that we've seen the last couple of seasons with Jayson Tatum back on the floor. And, you hit some of the checkpoints that people were looking for. Is he going to be aggressive? Can he stay in front of people defensively? Is he going to go vertical? His first basket's a putback dunk. So it's like all positive, right? It is all positive coming off those two games. And now we look ahead because that was yesterday against Cleveland was the first of, a 3-leg road trip that is pretty big. Now you go to San Antonio and then you go to Oklahoma City after that. Do you expect some nights off for Tatum this week?
Maybe
they could have easily done it on Sunday. They could have easily just been like, all right, one game, we'll save you for the West Coast or West Coast, middle of the country and play a couple of games in a row, but they didn't.
No, I was saying to a lot of people, I was like, I really felt like Sunday was going to be the day that they rested him. It was less than 48 hours after his debut. So I was like, that's a lot to play the game on Friday, travel, and then play at 1 p.m. minus the 1 hour for daylight savings time overnight.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see him not even like questionable. So I think that's a good sign. I think that means he was feeling good after the game against Dallas. He looked like he was feeling good against Cleveland. So that's a positive too. He did tell us after the game on Friday that there is a plan in place for him to kind of get back and to have rest days every once in a while. They have 2 back-to-backs left, I believe. I know one of them is April 9th, April 10th against the Knicks, and the other one is Charlotte 30th. So I would assume that he'll sit one of the 2 games across each of those. Beyond that, I'm not really sure if there are any other planned absences unless it's like game 81, 82, and 81 is, but I still think there could be value when that time of the season comes because Vucevic is now out with a broken finger. Vucevic is somebody that they brought in out of intention of Tatum elevating him as an offensive weapon. So developing a chemistry while they could before the playoffs is going to be a big storyline to watch until Vucevic broke his finger on Friday. Now he's expected to be out a month. So if they can have opportunities to have them kind of develop together, that would be a positive thing to take into the playoffs. But I wouldn't be concerned about his conditioning. I just think he's going to get better and better as the game goes on. And I think like the scoring stretches you saw in the middle of the Dallas game where he made 5 field goals in a row, he was 4 of 8 in the second half. Like he was much more calm and relaxed and felt normal. And then, of course, the beginning and end of Sunday's game, they're going to be more prolonged. You're going to have more nights where it's like, oh, he can just do it the whole game. And I think the biggest like positive from this is all the people that were like him and Jalen aren't going to be able to coexist because Jalen's playing so much better. Jalen's been good in these 2 games. He doesn't look like he's thrown off. He doesn't have as much on his plate, but he's still impacting the game. He almost had a triple-double yesterday in Cleveland. He's completely fine sharing the wealth, and he stepped in when he needed to in the middle quarters, especially in the third. The Celtics came out dead out of halftime. Cleveland cuts it to 14. They were down 20 coming out of the break. And then Jalen scores or assists on 9 straight points for Boston. Like, it's still in there for him too. So not only do you have an all-NBA guy, Jayson Tatum, coming back, who looks like he's prepared to get back to that level soon, but you have one playing already in Jalen, and he looks great, and he looks comfortable doing it with the roster now as is.
Yeah. And the Vucevic thing, that's tough. Obviously, the night you get Tatum back, he goes down for about a month. We're going to see a lot more Luka Garza minutes. And you saw kind of that chemistry developing even with Kata, in the pick and roll game, a couple of nice feeds from Tatum in those first 2 games. Do you think that hurts them in maybe a first round series that they're not up to speed? Because I think you touched on it, like that could be a huge weapon for the Celtics.
Yeah, here's the thing about like the first round is this year it might be more than just a formality. Charlotte's been playing really great basketball since January.
I don't want to play them, man.
And they beat the brakes off the Celtics on Wednesday. Charlotte is now a game and a half back of 9, 3 games back of 8, 4 games back of 7, and also 6 because those Miami and Orlando are tied at 7 and 6. If you have to play them in the first round, it's going to be annoying. I don't think it's a series that they should be favored against, but I believe in Luka Garza too, for what it's worth. I think every time he's had an opportunity this year, he's risen to the occasion. Like, think about Luka Garza's career as a Celtic. He came in as a free agent over the summer with like little to no expectations other than he was going to get to play here because the center rotation was thin. He sits for the majority of the first month and a half of the season because they've leaned into Josh Minot as a small ball five. And then in mid-December, he gets the call and just comes out as making every three. He's a beast on the offensive glass. He's helping you get extra possession, which is something that the Celtics as a team have really depended on, whether that's through offensive rebounds or forcing turnovers or simply taking care of the ball themselves this year to put themselves in position to score more points than the opponent. And then he sits again after they experiment when the Vucevic trade happens with double bigs. And he played Monday against Milwaukee and Friday and Sunday this week. And he looked really comfortable as if he had been playing the entire time. So I think he's a really good pro and is prepared for when his minutes come and when his name is called. So in a playoff situation, I don't know how scared I am, even though he does have obvious defensive shortcomings. As far as Vucevic goes, I do think that a first round series still could be training grounds for him and Tatum to play together. Tatum is a good basketball player. Vucevic is a smart, good basketball player too. They're going to be able to figure out, and Vucevic can still practice and be in condition and everything. He just has a broken finger. So he can run and sprint and do whatever's needed to keep his legs fresh, which is another good thing, I think, that is a silver lining to the whole thing.
Yeah. Let's continue to look ahead here at the postseason. Celtics are going to be in it. I know a lot of people weren't expecting that at the beginning of the year. I don't know if I was expecting that at the beginning of the year, but they are going to be in. I don't know. Like that over under at 40.5. I was like, well, that's not a bad number to look at it. You know what I mean? Obviously they've exceeded that. And then some. Eastern Conference, maybe not exactly what the top of the Western Conference is like. And we had that quote from JB Bickerstaff, the Pistons coach, and he said, "We're not worried about Boston." Well, actually, he said, "We're more concerned about what we're doing here." And it wasn't really much of a bulletin board material. But looking at it from the Celtics standpoint, who, as they are right now, and the way Tatum's been playing in these first two games, who would you worry about in the Eastern Conference? Or who would you take the most serious if you're the Celtics?
I mean, you have to take the teams at the top serious, unfortunately. Like, Detroit played the Celtics really well this season. Their size has made them a team that has a good advantage against Boston. Now, the Celtics have not gotten blown out by the Pistons in any of these games. They lost the one in Detroit in January by 1 point. Jalen misses the shot at the buzzer. They lose the rematch at the Garden after the awesome NBA Cup win, and that was pretty close. And then they lose the one in the first week of the season where they blow like a 20-point first half lead, and they lose by 6. None of those games had Tatum in it. Tatum does give you extra size in the front court. That can't be discounted. He had 12 rebounds in his season debut. Wasn't as active on the glass yesterday, but still is like a 8+ rebound a game guy for the last several seasons. He's going to help you in that regard. And the Celtics team that lost to Detroit in week 1 is nowhere near what it is now.
Yeah.
New York built to beat the Celtics. Unfortunately, I hate them. I want them to lose every game. I would love nothing more than the Celtics to beat the Knicks, but they have also played the Celtics well this season, despite their shortcomings against other teams. They just lost to the Lakers yesterday, who I don't think the Lakers are very good, but they beat the brakes off the Knicks and controlled that game really well. So those are the two teams. Cleveland doesn't move me. Toronto doesn't beat anybody good. Orlando's been a dumpster fire. I guess Miami by brand only is a team that you're kind of afraid of. Philly is the opposite. They just never beat the Celtics in the playoffs. And Charlotte is like the other one. Like, you're probably not going to see Charlotte deep in the playoffs, but it's not the team that you want to have to play in the first round, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a different category. Like, that's kind of what the Nets were in 22. Obviously, in hindsight, wasn't that much of a concern. They swept them. But there's one of those every year that you're like, for one reason or another, whether it's infighting or in this case, like a team that just came on late with the Hornets, that you just don't want to see there. Miami would be that for quite a while. But yeah, I'm there with you. I don't really want to see Charlotte. But that said, the Celtics should be taking care of that. If it's the first round, they should be. Sam LaFrance, Hardwood, Houdini. How about the Celtics podcast, man? I love your coverage. I really appreciate you taking the time. Always great analysis.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. And we'll have to have it happen again soon, Sam. We'll need Tatum updates throughout, I'm sure.
Okay. We'll be paying attention to Tatum, I promise.
Let's go. I had a feeling they might. Sam LaFrance, Hardwood, Houdini, and the How About Them Celtics podcast. Thank you again to Sam for hopping on. I mean, it is exciting, dude. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was into the whole fanfare on Friday. You know, the whole buildup I was talking about. I was like, I don't need enough. I don't need any more of the buildup. Like, let me get it to the actual day. And it had a certain energy around town and certainly on the broadcast. I wasn't at the game. But I thought he was excellent, and I thought he was really, really good in the first half yesterday against Cleveland, which was a team I worried about. But, dude, I mean, we'll get more into this later if they play the Cavs in the playoffs, but, like, I just can't be concerned about a team that adds James Harden. I just can't be. And he had a play yesterday that was, like, unbelievable. Like a play I've never seen on a basketball court. He threw an alley-oop from his own free throw line. It was insane. It was like something I've never seen in basketball, 20 years of watching this. But I'm not worried about a team with James Harden on it. I just never am. And he's had some great games against the Celtics in the playoffs. When he was with Philly, not worried about him. He won like 2 games by himself against the Celtics in that playoff series, and they still lost the series. Then the Sixers did. So I just can't be worried about that. Anyway, let me know what you think about Tatum's return and what this means for the Celtics. Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like that video, subscribe to the channel, and you will get good luck for 100 years. Thank you so much for doing that. It is your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio right here on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart on 365 Sports. When we come back, going to put a bow on this thing, talk about Patriots and the moves that have not happened so far. They missed out on Maxx Crosby. He's going to be a Baltimore Raven. Ah, shucks, what are you going to do? Must have had some bad luck. Or maybe the most iconic Patriot of all time blocked this move to New England from the inside. Why does Tom Brady hate us? Next on the Wicked Boston Show.
Blackmore Bar and Kitchen, located in Charlestown, is the perfect spot for a bite and drink before a Bruins or Celtics game at TD Garden. Blackmore Bar and Kitchen offers 34 rotating beers, craft cocktails, and an eclectic menu of tavern favorites like burgers, sandwiches, and flatbreads. Join us for brunch every Saturday and Sunday, plus pre- and post-game garden events. Blackmore Bar and Kitchen. Check us out at blackmorebar.com.
Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's kitbag.com. Kitbag.
Our professionals are not only experts in managing urgent concerns, but also in providing top-notch preventative health care. We're proud to connect pet owners to a vast network of licensed veterinary professionals, ready to address any immediate concerns. Book your first appointment today.
At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
Everybody at Equalife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Welcome back, Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart here on 365 Sports. You saw as we went to commercial break, Blackmore Bar and Kitchen, man. Love those guys. Can't wait to be back there. March the 24th, we'll be back there. You going to that Bruins Leafs game or just want to feel the atmosphere, maybe do some trivia with the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart, man, that's where we're going to be right before Bruins Leafs. I think we're going to do that at 5:30 to 6:30. Really get the most out of that crowd. There at the Blackboard Bar and Kitchen. So be sure to check us out there, and then cannot wait for it. Cannot wait for it. We do have to talk about NFL and free agency and the moves that have gone on. You know, obviously the Patriots missing out on Alec Pierce. They just signed the fullback from Buffalo, Gilliam, a few minutes ago. They could be talking about Brian Thomas, which I would love from the Jags, but we got to talk about the one they missed out on. So Maxx Crosby gets the blockbuster trade, goes to the Ravens. We knew the Patriots were interested. What we didn't know is that the Patriots' hopes of trading for Maxx Crosby might have been sabotaged from the inside in Vegas. Who, you would ask? Who for the Las Vegas Raiders would possibly hate the Patriots that much to say, no, we will not trade him there? Tom Brady. That's who. Jeremy Fowler had a story on ESPN, had an unnamed source say, quote, no way Tom was sending Max to Vrabel. Oh, really now? Now, why is that? Why did Tom Brady, the 5% owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, say, no way, send him anywhere else? We're not sending him to New England. Seems awfully petty, Tom. No pun intended there. R.I.P. Tom Petty. But, like, the Patriots are not a threat to the Raiders. All due respect. The Raiders are out west, and they suck. In fact, no one is really a threat to the Raiders, okay? If we break it down even further, the Ravens are probably going to play the Raiders before the Patriots do. Because the Patriots aren't slated to play them until 2028. The Ravens are going to play them in 2027. So what is the deal with this? I thought, like, Tom Brady, I thought you were a Patriot for life. I thought you loved RKK. It was like a second father to you. I thought Mike Vrabel was his best friend on the Patriots when they weren't playing. What happened to that? I'm not saying you need to do the Patriots a favor. Nobody's saying that. But the Patriots could have put up a package similar, if not better, to what the Ravens put out there, which was 2 first-round picks. The Patriots could have given you a first-round pick and Christian Barmore. Someone to help your pass rush. Someone to help the interior of your defensive line. And a first-round pick. But to outright refuse to send Maxx Crosby to one team that he wants to play for, a coach he said he wanted to play for, and a team that can offer you as good a deal as the Ravens did? Nah, man. That's petty. That's ridiculous. That's sad. And when you look at it, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick's post-New England days, they just look like petty narcissists, man. They just do. And that's not going to change anything they did on the field. Lord knows it didn't change anything that happened to Michael Jordan and his legacy on the court when he was a petty narcissist who sucked as an executive. But that's what these guys are. They both have had kind of pathetic post NFL runs. I almost said post-Patriots runs, but obviously Brady won a Super Bowl somewhere else. But between the way Brady looks with that plastic surgery and having this vendetta against the Patriots, for what reason, I have no idea. And Belichick and the whole Chapel Hill and Jordan Hudson thing, like it's sad. It's sad seeing this happen. It's kind of like having a loved one with Alzheimer's. They're just not the same people. This was a dynasty, this Belichick-Brady dynasty that was built on hard work, underdog mentality, ignoring the outside noise, only focusing on getting better and being a perfectionist every single day. And now it's just about how can we get back at Robert Kraft for some perceived slight? Because, like, I have no idea what kind of vendetta Brady would have against the Patriots. Against Bill Belichick? Sure. I get that. I could understand that. But what does he have against the Patriots? What does he have against Kraft? Like, honestly, I'd have a mind to take the statue down if this is true. Because the Patriots were in on Maxx Crosby. They wanted him. And I'm sure they made an offer. But the fact that Tom Brady's saying no, and by the way, I know he's Tom Brady. No one reveres Tom Brady more than I do, and people of my generation in this place. But who the hell is Tom Brady to make that call? He's not the GM. He's not the coach. He's barely even an owner. He's a 5% minority owner of this team. What other sports franchise lets their trades get dictated by someone who owns 5% of the team? When did Tom Brady start calling the shots? He doesn't have any experience as being an executive or a coach. And now he basically picked their coach and decides where he can send their best trade asset? Give me a break. And the sad conclusion I come to with all of this is when you look at all of this crap that's happened the last year or so, since the statue, let's say, Tom Brady doesn't like you. Tom Brady does not like Boston. He does not like the Patriots, despite saying he's a Patriot for life. Like, the guy went on the radio the week of the Super Bowl and said, I don't have a dog in the fight. His supposed best friend on the team, a guy who won 3 Super Bowls with, is coaching the Patriots. And he's like, no. Who would I root for? Why would I pick either one of these teams? And then tried to backtrack on it way late, Friday night. That bullshit. But like, this is what I mean. You don't have to do the Patriots favors. No one's saying that. We know the Patriots. This was not like Derek Jeter with the whole Giancarlo Stanton thing with the Yankees. Remember, he'd be like, just give me anything. Just give me anything, and I'll give you Giancarlo Stanton. We're not asking for that kind of favor. Not asking for a Derek Jeter to the Yankees kind of favor here. But apparently, his second father is the owner of the Patriots. His best friend when they were teammates is the coach of the Patriots. And yet he said, I would trade Maxx Crosby to 30 other teams. But there's no way I'm sending him to the Patriots. Does that not concern you? The guy doesn't like it here. He doesn't like this city, doesn't like this team. And that's not going to take away from what he did for this team or what he did for my childhood. He's always going to be my favorite athlete ever. He gave me the greatest childhood a sports fan could have ever asked for. But that's kind of what separates it. He's in the Larry Bird camp. Guys who gave you a dynasty, but fucked off as soon as they could and never want to go back. Not in the Bobby Orr camp. Not in the David Ortiz camp. Not in those guys. Not in that field. Not in a Gronk who still lives here, crazily enough. This was pathetic to see this report, but it was not surprising. Pathetic, but not surprising. You, the Patriots fan, Tom Brady doesn't like you. He doesn't care about this team. It's not his alma mater. Doesn't care. If the Bucs were in the Super Bowl, you think he'd be saying, I don't have a dog in the fight? I don't think so. But maybe that's just me. I think it's petty. I think it's ridiculous. And I do think it should get you angry as a Patriots fan. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Of course, we come at you every weekday on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts as well. Live, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio is right here on the Wicked Boston Show. Thank you to Sam LaFrance. Thank you to Zach Burke for keeping us on the air. Thank you to Tom Brady for giving me some content. We will see you guys on Wednesday on the next episode of the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.